So last time we had discussed sa personal and professional ethics siguro balikan lang natin sa advertising. May mga false advertising that is misleading claims and puffery, yung sobra siya masyadong claims sila, like the world's greatest beer, ganyan, yung mga ganyan na puffery na too much. Then yung comparative advertising, yung pagko-compare ng two brands na pinapakita sa they show two brands comparing, dati 'di ba, like um, pangalan ng isang brand kinompare kay isang brand, ganyan. That's why ginagawa nila si brand X compared to brand Y, ganito. So bawal po yun, ethically it is bad. And claiming false statements has been about their products ads actually deceive. Yes, because at some point, if ginagawa kasi yun ng isang company towards other company, parang kiniklaim niya na mas better yung company niya or mas better yung product nila compared to other products, that and also claims that the other products is doesn't give, or um, hindi nito parang compared to ibang products, mas maganda yung products nila, and na-bring down yung products na put into comparison. So the deception was material or meaningful. In other words, the plaintiff must show that the false ad claim is likely to influence purchasing decision, di ba? Di ba na experience din natin yan, if two products are being compared, mas nagiging favor tayo, pabor na sa atin yung product na mayroong advantage sa advertisement. So, falsely advertised goods are sold in interstate commerce, and suing company has been likely will injured as a result of false statement. Okay, endorsement or demonstration. A popular or advertising strategy is the use of spokesperson who endorse the brand, like yung ngayon content creators. So that's a perfectly legal strategy unless this endorser doesn't actually use the product. Sometimes 'di ba na ko-compare natin yung mga endorsers, if they do really use the products. So it's really hard to say na kapag hindi sila user ng product, and they claim the product is good, it's really yung parang credibility ng ng endorser towards the towards the claim na meron siya, like um if you remember, if you are a fan of Blackpink, when they had this concert, some of siguro sa lahat, sa akin kasi Blackpink yung nakita ko, Blackpink yung time na there's someone na ask for Jennie or Jisoo, I think, ask for photo, magse-selfie siya using the phone. She was given ng phone, parang iPhone ata yon, but Jennie is not an endorser of iPhone or Apple, so she rejected that, not harshly rejected, but gently reject the ano tawag dito, yung siguro, nakalimutan ko yung term eh. Hindi niya kinuha yung phone, gently refuse the ano, yung um, request ng fan. Ang sinabi niya lang is Samsung, I think, because they are endorsers of Samsung, so they are not allowed to do that. And I remember, there's a certain company, or I think ganon, company in Davao. I remember when I was in Davao, may kaibigan ako na nagtatrabaho sa isang kumpanya ng drink na to, beverage na to. They are, sinasabihan sila na bawal silang uminom ng rival company, ng product ng from rival company. So kung makikita sila, um, ano tawag dito, matatagal sila sa trabaho. So ganoon rin po yung sa kuan sa endorsers. Kapag yung endorsers na to is papalit-palit, like asan ang credibility? Asan yung sinasabi nyo na yung product nyo is best compared sa rival na products? So ganun po ang nangyayari, no? Like yung sa sinabi nating endorsers. Siguro example na natin dito, this is just for educational purpose lang po, no? If you are fan of I de las Alas, I sorry kung nag-drop name, pero this is just an example for this. At first, as far as I could remember, she was an endorser of Magic Sarap. She is an endorser with her best friend, Chris Aquino. I remember Magic Sarap. Then, um, years later, she changed from Magic Sarap to a similar product line but different brand, that is Nam Nam, Lucky Me Nam Nam. Then afterwards, after years, so nag-change naman siya into Silver Swan Wow Sarap. So the claim there is, if ikaw ang customer, if you see Ay de las Alas endorsing Magic Sarap, you will believe her because she has the credibility as a mom, and as a cook, I think she cooks well. So to kung ano yung sa to endorse another product in the same line, parang nawawala na po siya ng credibility. I'm not saying na wala talaga siyang credibility, pero parang yung product na i-endorse niya is nawawala ng credibility. So, doon na tayo nagkakakuan, problema tayo sa yung ethics ba. Kapag ikaw ang endorser, kapag nag-endorse ka ng isang product, it's not good to endorse another product in the same line. Kasi parang nawawala ng credibility yung product na sinasabi mo. So, the increasing prominence of digital media raises another ethical dilemma. Is it acceptable for company representative to post consumers to pay bloggers to post endorsement as customer reviews online? Yun, 'di ba, word of mouth marketing? Yung katulad sa TikTok, ang daming nagsasabi ng ganito ganyan. Example lang po 'to ha, or sa Blue Up sa Facebook, 'di ba? Maraming mga vloggers, maraming mga kaan na na-claim na ito ganyan, in-exage nila to the point na naniniwala naman ng customer, namimili ng product, pero hindi naman nami-meet yung expectation ng customers. So, yan po. So, product demonstration in television advertising also must not mislead consumers. Ito po yung nagiging problema. Misleading po yung kadalasan sinasabi nila because they are just endorsers. They want customers to buy the product they're endorsing because it's a win for them. However, misleading is unethical po. This mandate is especially difficult for advertisement of food products because such factors as host studio lights and length of time need to shoot the commercial can make product look unappetizing. Siyempre, imagine nyo, yung mga siguro nakikita natin no, mga advertisement ng mga soft drinks or yung grabing aso, yung kuan, yung usok nito, yung even yung mga burger, 'di ba? Grabe ang patty nito, grabe. Ang ganda talagang tingnan, pero pag nandoon na sa yung product, parang hindi naman ganyan. So misleading po siya yung demonstration ng product, 'di ba? Yung pinapakita na product is different from what is being delivered to you. Yun po yung expectation versus reality na concern. That's why in Japan, I think, if I'm not mistaken, kung ano po yung pinapakita nila sa packaging, that will be the size of the product, or that's how the product is really yung what is being expected by the customer, that is what is being delivered to them. So yun po, yun ang alam ko sa Japan na products. One technique some advertiser use to sidestep restrictions on demonstration is to insert disclaimers, 'di ba? Supers which are verbal or written word, which are the ad that indicate exception to the advertising claim. So yun, 'di ba may mga disclaimers sila. Ang gamot na ito ay ang produktong ito ay hindi gamot na pwedeng inumin panggamot sa anumang sakit. So yun. So there are some controversial products, no? So before an agency can create an ad for a client, it must consider the nature of the client company and its mission. So it's really no, it's really important for an agency like um you siguro kon kayo magiging ano tawag ito, aspiring advertisers or agents. It's really important for you to know the customers or the client that you will try to endorse, no? Hindi kasi pwede na nag-endorse ka lang na hindi mo alam, hindi mo kilala yung product, or kahit alam mo na may problema yung product, ini-endorse mo pa rin. It's really bad. So, controversial product is not really good to be endorsed. Lalo na kapag nagka-problema yan, lalo na kapag nagka-issue yan, ikaw na endorsers is damay. So, marketing communication reflects the marketing and business ethics of its client and because of its visibility. Sometimes gets the blame for selling controversial, unsafe, or dangerous product. Marami na pong mga agencies na nag-endorse ng product or nag-advertise ng product, ng controversial products. Then, at the, ito yung problema, nagkakaroon ng issue, then, pati yung endorser is nagkakaroon ng nasusud sila for the damage. If I'm not mistaken, some issue is nagiging problema rin to yung sa katulad ng mga concerts, fake concerts or mga concerts na nag nag-endorse ka pagkatapos um, bigla na lang fake pala yun or hindi natuloy yung concert or ano man, ikaw yung hahabulin ng mga um, ikaw nag-endorse, ikaw yung hahabulin ng customer. So ganyan. Kasi ikaw po yung endorser ng ng product. Unhealthy and dangerous product. Ito po is isa talaga sa pinaka problema talaga ng mga endorsers. If you are an endorser, it's really bad for you to introduce or endorse a product that is dangerous to the health of the people. That's why as you can see, 'di ba, di na masyado nag-a-accept dito sa Pilipinas, and it's really ban, I think, ban for for agencies or even the televisions. It is banned for they are banned to make an advertisement for cigarettes because it is dangerous for the health of individuals, not just for the kid but every individual. So one way to make ethical decision is to choose the route of minimize potential harm. Yon, because there have been so negative publicly about the health effects of eating or a steady diet of heavily processed foods food companies. Yan. Siguro opponents of advertising bans counters with argument that prohibiting truthful non-deceptive advertising for a legal product is unconstitutional and a violation of free speech rights. So, yung mga unhealthy foods, unhealthy ko po, 'di ba? Sometimes kasi may mga products even sa mga endorser sa sa mga sa social media, even sa television, yung parang kine-claim nila that the product is healthy, but sometimes it's not really good for the health of people. So, pwede kang kasuhan at pwede kang yun nga, masu, and pwede pong habulin yung company na agency mo and also yung agency na ini-endorse po. Kasi it's misleading and nag-cause siya ng harm sa health ng tao. The ethics of advertising liquor is another concern. So, there's a question lang. Why is it in the in the Philippines is why is it there is some liquors are still allowed to advertise? Hindi naman po kasi ganyan ka harmful ang alak. Kaya nga sinasabi nila, drink moderately. So, in this case, the biggest issue for the spirits industry is charge of advertising to underage drinkers. So, yun po yung isa talagang problema nila. Hindi po dahil sa bawal talaga sila, but yung sa mga underage drinkers. So, liquor executives content that they follow voluntary advertising guidelines to avoid images and time slots that appeal to kids. So, di ba? Kadalasan dati, in some other area and other countries, they do advertisings of some contents of their advertising. Dati kasi, 'di ba? If you can remember, if meron pa rin ba nag-exist yung kalendaryo na mga sexy na artista sa mga alak, 'di ba? Meron yan dati. I don't think if I don't know if meron pa rin hanggang ngayon. Dati rin ganoon rin sa advertisement sa TV. 'Di ba may parang pagka-sexualize rin siya. That is not really good pa rin pero sa mga matatanda okay lang 'yun kasi it's not that an issue for kaya nga sometimes pinapalabas ito sa time slot kung saan wala na masyadong mga bata nanonood. And also, yung sa issue naman ng drinking, yun nga, naglalabas sila ng mga parang guidelines or something like reminders that you should not drink every day but drink moderately. Uminom sa kaya. So, prescriptive drugs, no, ito, hindi na po, hindi po talaga pwede mag-advertise basta-basta ng droga or any, hindi, I'm not saying droga yung mga bad drugs, but this is good drugs. Kasi sometimes good drugs can be used in a bad way. So that's why in some no, some medicines talaga they are prescriptive talaga. They need prescription from the doctor because some of this has siguro addictive na content, lalo na mga painkillers. And yun, dati nga sabi pa nga nila ginagamit rin, sinisimhot rin yung Robitussin. I think di ko rin alam yan. So it's really kuan talaga, kinokontrol ka nga ng kuan. And also yung pagke-claim na ang gamot is parang wonder drug, nakakagamot lahat ng sa anumang sakit, 'di ba? Kaya nga there's really kuan talaga claim na after the ng advertisement, no therapeutic claims, so at some, 'di ba? Because it's not a wonder drug. It cannot heal everything. So hindi pwede yung parang nag-advertise ka nito. Tama na prescription drug advertising has skyrocketed while this prints and the prints and television have proven very successful in terms of increased sales. Various consumers groups, government agency, and insurance company have been quite critical of them. Oh, yun nga. So other doctors say they appreciate that the advertising has caused consumers to become more active in managing their own health and more informed about their drugs. So that's why in some meron talaga mga drugs na over the counter, mabibili mo over the counter, pero marami pong mga drugs na prescriptive because it's really advertised na with the prescription of the doctor, with the advice of the doctor. So, hindi siya basta-basta. So, ethical responsibilities in brand communication, personal morality, yun po. Morality ng tao, professional code of conduct. So, agents, dapat mag-follow ng professional codes, international standards. Hindi po pare-pareho yung mga standards ng mga countries. Some countries allow it, some countries don't. In some countries there are still advertisement of yung mga contraceptives like condoms and other product like cigarettes, but in this case sa Philippines there is no available advertisement about mga smokes, mga cigarettes. So ethics are the shoulds and oughts of behavior and the right thing to do. So morals are framework for right actions and more domain, religion and philosophy. Example sa moral system is the Ten Commandments for Judo Christians. So although ethics reflect what is right and wrong, the difficulty lies in making choices from equally compelling competition. So professional and for personal and professional ethical decisions are usually complex and involve navigating a moral maze in conflicting forces, strategy versus ethics. So cost versus ethics and effectiveness versus ethics, so on. So they demand the ability to do what ethics call moral reasoning. So professional code of ethics industry standard can provide help with a decision about ethical behavior. So what is really right, no? They have write this code of ethics to help guide practitioners toward ethical behavior. So yeah. So nandito yung principles of ethics. So advertising, public relation, marketing are all share common objective of truth and highlights ethical standards. Obligation have an obligation the personal ethics in the creation of dissemination of commercial information to consumers. So yan communicates from news and editorial contents and entertainment both online and offline. Next, um, such a payment meron pong disclose all materials, condition, payment receipts of free products affecting endorsement and so on and so forth. Basahin na lang po natin tong mga professional code of ethics. So may international standards of codes naman tayo. Standards of professional behavior are not found only in United States or Western countries. Singapore, for example, had ad code specifically designed to prevent Western influence advertising from impairing Asian family values. So yeah. So brand communication, legal environment. Brand communication is subject to legal regulations to prevent deceptive advertising and unethical practices. Government regulations and industry self-regulations ensure that the advertising remains truthful and fair. So, nandito po yung example natin, Pure Food and Drug Act, Federal may mga example pa and marami pa. Even dito sa Pilipinas, marami po tayong mga ganyan. So, trademark and copyright. So, what is trademark? Trademark is a brand, corporate, or a store name or distinctive symbol that identifies that the seller's brand and thus differentiate it from other brands from of other sellers. So, TM po makita natin. Hindi yung TM na touch mobile but TM yung makita natin sa mga kon. Ito po yung magiging brand mark, no? So trademark can be registered through a Department of Commerce, which gives an organization exclusive use of mark as long as the trademark is maintained as an identification of the specific product. Registered trademark enjoy a more legal protections than those who are not registered. Na, yun. Brand communication, First Amendment, ito is sa Amerika to, no? Meron rin po tayo sa Philippines, so tingnan na lang natin. Na meron din po tayo mga international laws and regulations. So, basahin na lang natin yung mga i-search na lang natin. So, yun. Mayroon po tayong mga regulatory environment, mga bodies. So, meron tayong Federal Trade Commission. They focus on the unfairness, deception, and violations of the advertisers. Sila yung nagko-control. So, meron rin tayong FDA, Food and Drug Administration. They oversees the advertisement related to food, drug, and health claims. Meron rin tayong tinatawag na FCC. This is the Federal Communication Commission, regulates advertising and broadcasting. So, I think some of you are familiar of this Federal Trade Commission because they are the one who treats what is the what if the advertisers is unfair, if the advertisers show unfairness between comparing two products, if the the advertisement of the product is so deceptive that claim there's harmful claims yun rin if and also if there is a violations, especially if there are child or children involved in advertisement. So meron rin tayong FDA, siguro familiar kayo, no? And FCC. So meron din po tayong other regulatory agencies like Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms. So sila yung nagko-control ng mga kanito. Meron rin sa US Patent and Trademark Office protects intellectual property. It's really important to protect intellectual property. Kaya nga if you have a product or idea or any inventions or may naisip kayo, may ginagawa kayo, kailangan nyo talaga ipapatent para ma-protect yung intellectual property ng product nyo. So, states, attorneys, so, ano bang impact ng regulation sa mga customers or consumers? The FTC and children's advertising developing responsible advertising aimed at children um is a critical issue, protecting children. Kasi madali talaga ma-influence ang mga bata. Treat treat children like a monkey. What monkey sees, monkey do. That's what children do. What they see, what they hear, they do it. So gagayahin yan nila. Kung nakikita nila, 'di ba? Kaya nga sabi nila don't say bad words in front of the children because they will follow it. So kung anong nakikita nila sa TV, parang papaniwalaan nila yan kasi ginagawa nga sa TV. So the FTC and other governmental agencies have gotten involved in the regulations of marketing to children. And also there are also protecting children, yung mga advertisement na nagko-cause ng harm sa mga bata, nire-regulate po yan nila. So regulating deception naman ultimately advertisers want to um, their customers to trust their products and advertising. So many take precaution to ensure that their message are not deceptive, misleading or unreasonable. So paulit-ulit tayo, deceptive advertising is intended to mislead customers by claims that are false or by failure to make full disclosure of the important facts of our product. So kung ikaw daw, ilagay natin, no? Kung ikaw ang customer, suppose may agency nag-advertise, then grabe ang claims. Kapag uminom ka ng product na to, is tatangkad ka ng sobra. Tapos uminom ka. Pero after years of drinking this medicine, hindi ka tumangkad. So misleading po siya. Anong gagawin, ang mangyayari sa iyo? 'Di ba maiinis ka. Parang mafe-feel mo is niloloko ka lang ng product na to. So, yun po yung magiging kwa natin. So, yung mga misleading, yun. Asa na? The current FTC policy on deception contains three basic elements. Misleading, where there's representation, omission, or practice. There must be a probability that it will mislead the consumer. Reasonableness, the perceptive of reasonable consumer is used to judge deception. So, next is injurious. Injurious deception must hold probability of material injury. Here, material is defined as affecting consumers' choice or behavior regarding the product or service. In other words, the deception is likely to influence consumers' decision making about products and service. So, regulating substantation, um, an area of particular concern to the FTC is determining misleading advertisement is claim substantation. The advertiser should have reasonable basis for claims about the product or product performance or risk in the FTC investigation. So the FTC determines the reasonableness of claims on a case-to-case basis. In general, FTC considers these factors, type and specificity of claims. For example, computer tutor claims that you can learn basics of using computer by simply going through the 3 set, di ba? May mga ganyan, ang mga tutorial. Gawin mo, abilihin mo to at matututo ka ganito ganyan. So, kailangan naka-specify naman doon. Kapag finalo mo lahat ng instructions, may possibility na matututo ka talaga. But not to the extent that you will be an expert. Ang sinabi lang doon, magiging able ka. So, dapat ganun, specific ka. So, the type of products, kung for example, ito, if FedEx promise that the product will be delivered on time, it should be delivered on time. Whether um, regardless of having mga bagyo or ano man mga instances of hindrances, the product should be delivered on time because that's what you have promised to your customers. So possible consequences, for example, is our website claims that it is secure, can security can cause serious it uh, a website that claims it is secure can cause serious damage to its customer. In fact, it is not. So disagree the degree of reliance, type of accessibility of evidence, what substantiation is reasonable. Yan. Basahin na lang natin. Remedies for deception. May mga remedies naman po sa deception and unfair advertising. Common sources of complaints concerning deceptive and or unfair advertising practices are competitors, the public, and the FTC own monitors. After the FTC determines that an ad is deceptive, the first step of the regulation is to issue consent decree. So notifies the advertiser its finding, asks the advertiser to sign a consent decree agreeing to stop the deceptive practices. Most advertisers do sign decree to avoid bad con. Ito yung mga remedy nila. They will offer cease, they will, ano tawag dito, bibigyan sila ng cease and desist order, corrective advertising. If di nila titigil to, ipapastop sila. Kung hindi nila itatama yung advertising nila, um, ma, mapapastop yung advertising nila. Consumer redress, the Magnuson-Moss Warranty FTC Improved Act of 1975 empowers FTC to obtain consumer redress when a person or a firm engaged in deceptive practices. A judge can order of any of the following: cancellation of information of contract, refund money, and return of. 'Di ba? Even sa mga advertisement sa mga online, 'di ba? You can report, no, you can report if there's scam, misleading, if it's harmful, so you can report it naman. Then the Facebook or TikTok or any can they can do corrective actions. So similar rin, consent decrees, corrective advertising. So, media review of advertising. The media attempt to regulate advertising by screening and rejecting ads that violates their standard of truths and good taste. But sometimes nakakalusot pa rin yung iba. But most of it na reject po. Rather than wait for laws and regulatory actions, responsible advertisers take an initiative and establish individual ethical standards that anticipate and even go beyond the possible complaints. So, as an advertiser, you must follow and do self-regulations. Ikaw na mismo, no? You should not wait for someone to correct your advertising or someone to do your job, but ikaw na mismo gagawa. So, advertiser practice three types of regulation rather. Self-discipline, industry self-regulation, and self-regulation by public community group. So, self-discipline are organizations such as an advertising agency exercise self-discipline when it develops, uses, and enforces norms within the own practice. Then self-regulation, when the development, use, the enforcement of norms come from the industry, no, from the industry. So, meron tayong example dito from NAD or National Advertising Division, Then National Advertising Review Board, there is an review board and they do the appeals. Then self regulation by public and communities groups. The advertising industry voluntarily involves non-industry representative like sa mga local groups and consumer activist groups. Consumer groups of all kinds monitor advertising practice. That would be for the third chapter.